Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Anyway, no more delay. Just check out. No, let me quit playing. So here's the deal. Welcome back to another episode of the Power of the BI. Welcome back to another episode of the Power of the BI. And of course, what we learn here is how to turn your career, turn your income into a six-figure income using business intelligence. That's right. We take business intelligence, we build our skill sets using business intelligence, and we demand six-figure incomes. We demand a six-figure salary, and I'm not talking about 10 years from now. I'm not talking about 4 years from now. I'm talking about anywhere from 4 to 6 months as we develop our skill sets here in learning business intelligence. We we um, we don't just focus in on one specific business intelligence skill. Well, let me back up. We do focus on one particular skill set in the initial class, the initial Power of the BI class, found at powerofthebi.com. But there are several skill sets that we are going to focus on as we um, participate in these podcasts. So, with that said, it could be Power BI, it could be ClickView, it could be Tableau, it could be some data engineering, it could be some artificial intelligence. But for the most part, what we focus on in the learning aspect of developing one skill, and that skill is Power BI. Power BI is a software tool, an online web-based software tool. Actually, it's downloadable, so you'll actually create your reports on the desktop. But when you publish to the dashboard, publish to Power BI service, powerbi.com, all of that is online. Which, with that said, it gives us a vast array of abilities to do some things that other platforms are not allowing us to do at this particular point. Now, with that said, listen, I am not an employee of Microsoft. I do not work for Microsoft. I am not endorsed by Microsoft. They do not even provide me as of yet. Maybe sooner or later they'll do some endorsements or sponsorships of the program. But for the most part, they do not provide any sponsorship endorsements to this program. But given that Power BI is a Microsoft product, I just want to be upfront and honest with you and let you know that off top. Now, have I done some projects with Microsoft and the Microsoft team? Yes, I have, indirectly, not directly with Microsoft, but I've worked with organizations or companies that have had relationships with Microsoft, and I have been able to create some pretty powerful projects, reports, and dashboards, if I may say so myself, on that end. With that said, we're not necessarily having to go out and just say we're trying to find a job in with one specific customer, client, or company. There are many companies out there. I haven't count, don't even have close to a count of how many other customers and companies that are out there. But there are companies out there that you have not even heard of, I'm sure, that are willing to give you six figures in order for you to provide great Power BI service. And that's what we do here at the Power of the BI.com is we equip you with the tools and the utilities in order to be able to provide um, outstanding service where you'll be able to go above and beyond what's even expected of you, and even of what you expect of yourself. And it allows you to get away from that imposter syndrome mentality, saying, hey, I didn't go to school for this, or I don't really know this, or I just learned this on the fly. No, you didn't learn this on the fly. You learned this from the best in the business. All right, let's start there. You learned this from the best in the business. You go to the you become a member of the Power team here at the powerofthebi.com. I'm telling you, you're going to learn from the best of the business. You're going to have access to the best of the business, and you get out there and you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you are a little bit above your, it's a little bit above your head, or you're a little over your head when it comes to that. The water is about to make you drown. You're gonna have access to the Power team, to where you touch of a button, click of a button, send in a message, a text message, a Facebook live message, or a Facebook message, and we're responding. We're gonna make sure that our team members are not out there drowning. But at the same time, we're going to make sure that our team members are not out there just taking salaries just to take a job. No, I'm telling you now, the average pay coming out of the powerbi.com should be $48 to $55 an hour. $48 to $55 an hour. That's slightly less than 100,000, somewhere around 99,750, somewhere around there, 99,900. They haven't done the calculations in quite some time. Up to probably about $110,000. Now, are there opportunities out there that's going to present themselves that are less than that $48 an hour? Yes. Are there going to be opportunities that's going to present themselves that's going to be above that $110,000 mark? Yes. Do I suggest you take those below the $48 mark? No, unless it's a situation where you feel that you just need a job and you don't have time to wait for that next best deal, or you don't have time to negotiate with these guys that are currently offering you. On the same note, do I suggest that you go out and you take that $110,000 job? Well, that job that's more than $110,000. The answer to that is probably no. The reason why I say that is because that job is probably going to require you to have a slightly higher skill set than what we're training you for right now here at thepowerbi.com. But that doesn't mean that we can't get you the direction that you need to go, or members of the Power team don't already have that knowledge. It's just that the knowledge that could be requested, it's not all the times, but the knowledge that could be requested in that particular instance is slightly greater than what you're going to be getting here. And if you're already new to the industry, what I would say is learn one skill first, and that one skill that we're teaching here first is business intelligence using Power BI. Tableau, you're going to be able to maneuver within that Tableau arena as well. ClickView, you're going to be able to maneuver within that ClickView arena as well. But just understand, the more they pay you, the more they're going to expect. And the less they pay you doesn't mean they're going to expect any less. They're going to expect the same amount of work. That's why I say, you don't want to take less than that $48 mark, because they're going to expect six-figure outcome for less than six-figure input if you allow them to do that. But with that said, I digress, and I am going to move forward. What we are learning here in the Power of the BI is how to develop a skill set in order to earn that six-figure salary. And that the reason why you probably stopped by here, if you haven't stopped by before, is that you saw that thumbnail out there that said learn BI, earn six figures. It's easy like Sunday morning. That's right, it's easy like Sunday morning. Anyway, yeah, it really is just that easy. It's easy like Sunday morning. And what I'm going to do here is what we've been talking about is this one particular project, the one particular coffee project. And basically we've taken data from a coffee company. For those who are new here, please understand this is not this is not some corporate chain. This is not the big green brother that's out there selling coffee. This is not the Golden Arches that's selling coffee, or it's not the donut shop with the red lights that's selling coffee. This is actually data that I created, that I made up just for this particular company, or that I made up just for this particular podcast, so that I'd be able to speak with you in regards to how easy it is to create a dashboard. Because at the end of the day, Power BI, all Power BI is creating reports and dashboards. And as we said before, a report is something that is pre-dashboard. You have not published it yet to Power BI service. It's not out there on PowerBI.com. But once it is, then it becomes a dashboard. But prior to then, it's just a report. It's something that you're creating. It's a report in order for you to develop to where you're probably sending back and forth, or you're sharing with your particular manager or coworkers or customers on the front end before it's actually put out into production. So this particular coffee report we have here, which is very similar to a dashboard. It's a pretty big report. I don't typically suggest that we create dashboards that have much more than 6 visuals. And basically, what a visual is each one of these items here is a visual. And basically, with these visuals, what we're doing is we're telling a story of the data that we received, and we had an opportunity to get an idea of how to analyze data. If you guys did not get a chance to look at the previous video, I suggest you go back and look at the previous video where we talked about analyzing data. And basically now we're to the point to where we are creating we're creating a visualization. This visualization is telling the story of that data. Everything that we analyze now, we're taking what we believe is the most important information, the most important data for the customer, and we are analyzing this data. So I'm going to go through this report real quick, and I am going to tell you what each one of these visuals are, because each one of these visuals have a name. I believe I said it before. I think I went through it before, but I'm going to start there again in this particular video. And again, this is all about understanding that learning a skill set like BI, like business intelligence, like Power BI, puts you in position, puts you in the captain seat to where you can command a six-figure salary. That's if you don't have a six-figure income right now, or if you're looking for a transition or some type of movement into a different career set. I do highly recommend BI. The reason why I recommend BI is because a lot of these jobs now are remote jobs, and you can work for any company anywhere in the world, wherever you want to be, anywhere in the world. So let me back up. I think I was kind of confused there. Companies that are worldwide, you can work for those companies. Any company that's around the world, you can work for that company, and you can work anywhere in the world for any company that is hiring for a business intelligence person. Now, with that said, in some cases, they may ask you to work remote. To work hybrid, which means you'll go in several days a week, and you'll work from your desired location several days a week. You could also be asked to work on site, and that's 9 to 5 every day. Or you can work remote, and that's pretty much what we're looking at here. We're saying, hey, we want six-figure salaries, and we want to be able to work wherever we want to work from. Now, where you want to work from may be on site. You may want to work on site because that's just what you want to do. And if I were you, and you were offered a position in BI, I would highly recommend that you definitely not take a position for less than the $55 an hour, and probably take one for somewhere around $57.50 an hour. I believe that will put you somewhere in the $120,000 range. Working on site these days, that is pretty standard, pretty norm. Working remote, about 114 is about average, and about 99,750 is pretty much the basement of where you would want to go if you were taking a job opportunity. Now, with that said, that was a bunch of information that you did not ask me for, and that was not information I had planned to give you. What we were looking to talk about here are the different types of visuals that we see on this report, and there are many other visuals that could be here. But the way that I built out this report, to keep it simple, not using a whole lot of background colors and formatting and things like that, because we'll talk about that more inside of the powerofthebi.com as you participate in that, in the powerofthebi.com. But what I wanted to show you here in this particular report is, as we were speaking of it initially, just give you some idea of what these different visuals are called. Up top, we have what are called cards, and here we actually have 4 cards. They're grouped together, but if we click on the card, we could come up and we would format, and we could, let's see, external tools, line, no, let's see, selection. We can change each one of these cards. Let's see. For some reason, I've got it set to where it's not, the grouping is not breaking. But what we could do is we could break this group of cards. But the reason why it's grouped is so that we can move the whole set of cards at the same time. And we're showing 4 different values for each of the 4 different cards. Here we're saying total sales, transaction value, where average transaction value, average retention rate, and average inventory turnover. So these four items up here would be called cards. I do apologize, trying to figure out why my format is not breaking, and it's probably for a reason that I set, that I kind of trick myself, kind of like hiding something from yourself. But anyway, these four items up here are called cards. These items to the left, these are called slicers. So basically what the slicers is doing is it's allowing us to see the values, or see what's being described by each specific type of item. Here we're looking at products, so we can see we have all the products that we can select from. If we come down to location, and we can see all the different locations: rural, suburban, and urban. Rural, suburban, and urban. As we spoke before, as we were talking about analyzing the data, we needed to know if we were speaking of the customers coming from rural, suburban, and urban areas in order to purchase at this particular location, or is this a location, or is this a chain where the chain is actually has locations in rural areas, suburban areas, and urban areas. So once we analyze the data, that's a question that we want to ask the customer. Hey, unless we already know, is this a chain, or is this a one-off coffee shop? And we're talking about individual customers. Another way that we can look at this is by gender. We have gender female and male. Again, as I said before, we only have female and male here, but of course, we can have several other gender categories here as well. Now, so with that said, just to recap, we have these guys over to the left are called filters, and they don't have to be to the left. They could be across the top. I mean, oftentimes I like to have my filters across the top, and I would have my cards across the side, or even my cards across the bottom. Typically my filters across the side or filters across the top would be the way I would place the filters, but the cards, they could be, at that point, it's just aesthetically pleasing. What's aesthetically pleasing when it comes to the cards. Then we have other visualizations, which I consider to be the big visuals. Again, I typically don't like to have more than 6 visuals or 6 big visuals on a page. I could have several filters. I could have several cards. But for the most part, I don't like to have more than 6 visuals, 6 big visuals across on a report. The reason why is because I like to have my report to where I don't have to scroll down. In this particular case, I know I've got 2 other visuals here at the bottom, so I've got to scroll down to see those visuals. But those visuals are placed there just so I can give you an idea of what the different visuals are. But typically, I would just like this would be how I would have my report set up right here, where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big visuals. I've got filters coming across the side. It could be one filter. It could be 6 filters, however many it is that I need in order to make different selections. And then I've got my cards across the top. In some cases, I would probably make these cards bigger or wider so that the card would be at the edge of the width of all of the big visuals. And I say big visuals, that's just because I say big visuals, that's not a standard term. That's just how I identify the difference between visuals when I'm speaking with my guys here at the Power Team, whether I'm talking about filters or cards, or if I'm talking about big visuals. So the first of the big visuals that we spoke about before, I think I went through them initially, which was the column chart is a visual. The donut chart is a visual. The bar chart is a visual. The way that I identify the difference between a bar chart and a column chart is that a bar chart is from side to side, and I say I can set my wine glass on top of the bar, and my columns hold up the roof, hold up the walls. So that's how I know that's how I'm able to differentiate between my identifying of a bar chart and a column chart. A tree map. I don't know why they call this a tree map, but it identifies different segments of entities. Here in this particular case, we're talking about urban, rural, and suburban. So we're seeing, which one has the most clientele or the number of visitors or whatever the case it is that we're going to use for that that category. But here in this particular case, we see that suburban has 1,000, rural has 1,000, and urban has 1,000. Again, we have a column chart. I don't normally have the same type of chart on a report, meaning I have a column chart here and a column chart here. But in this particular case, because we're talking about several different types of entities, and what I really want to do, or several different types of values, and what I'm really trying to show is how to utilize the data that you have when you analyze it. I just included it all on this one report, but typically I would probably create another page, which is just a matter of creating pages. And we'll see creating pages here in a minute. Now, let's see here. I can't really see the bottom, and that bottom visual is a dashboard. And let's see here. We're gonna clean out the whole thing. So here we've got a funnel. As I said, a dashboard, but it's a funnel. This visual is called a funnel. It could funnel up, or it could funnel down, or it could funnel up, just depending on how we wanted to do it. We could reverse it. It doesn't matter. And we'll probably see that a little later that'll probably be more so in the powerofthebi.com. We look at different types of visuals. And then this visual here is called a table. And a table is very similar to a matrix. We don't have a matrix on here, but a table is very similar to a matrix. The matrix is just a little bit more complicated. I don't really want to introduce the matrix right now. Just understand that a matrix and a table are very similar, but a matrix adds another little step to the caveat to where you're like, whoa, how did you do that? And that's not the nature of this piece. The nature of this piece is just to show you how easy it is to create a Power BI report, how easy it is to create a Power BI dashboard, and how easy it is for you to make six figures creating Power BI reports and Power BI dashboards. In this particular visual, in this particular segment, we are going to focus on the column chart. And basically what I did was, I was here in the original dashboard, in the original report, and I just clicked duplicate. And when I clicked duplicate, I went over and I got the same report, but I just took out all the visuals. I took out all the other visuals. Those, let's see how many visuals were there in the initial report. It was 3, 5, 7 big visuals. So I took out 5 big visuals, and I took out all the big visuals except for the 2 columns. So in this particular segment, we're going to be talking about just the column. So basically, creating a report, what I'm trying to show you here is that to create, individuals are making 6 figures, $115,000, $99,000, $120,000 even. And you don't have to have a whole lot of experience. You just need to have the skill set in order to do this. But they're making reports, they're making dashboards, and basically, you start with one visual. Here we've got a column chart. Learning how to make an effective and efficient column chart. Analyzing the data. We've already analyzed the data over here. And now what we're showing in this particular column chart, purchase frequency versus average transaction value. In this column chart. In this column chart, we are looking at peak hour purchases by gender. The peak hour purchases by gender. I mean, it's really that simple. I mean, I'm making it seem as if it's simple, but it really is just that simple. We can find the products, and we can see how the products change by purchase frequency and by peak hour purchases by gender. We're taking something that's super complicated and just breaking it down to something real simple. And it's easy like Sunday morning, right? That's by product. Let's erase the product. Let's say we want to do it by location. We were talking about that rural and suburban location. Now, we're slicing this thing again, this is called a slicer, and we're slicing this thing by urban or by the location type, right? So we're we're creating interactive reports. We're creating interactive reports, and this is information. Even though it may seem simple, this is information that makes businesses grow, right? It's business intelligence, right? This is information that makes businesses grow. So basically, we've taken this information and we took a simple column chart. Remember, the column chart is what holds the roof up. And if we come over, we'll see the bar chart, which does the same thing as the column chart, or it has the same functionality, but we're seeing it on a horizontal level. The bar chart, remember, the bar holds your wine glass. Now we can look at product sales by age group. Cappuccino by age group, right? Now we're seeing the sales. The sales are over here, and the age groups are over here. This is information that makes the business grow. If you're in a coffee business, you understand that this is big, because now you can tell that your looks like your uh, biggest age group here in this particular case, and I had to expand this a little bit. I don't have my glasses on, so I needed to expand it so I can see the age group. And I see we're at 35 to 44, and they're buying. I'm assuming that's going to this product sales. So that's 710 mochas that they're buying. But let's do it by location. Let's say at the urban store. Now we can see what the sales are by urban. Either that's by the urban store, or the people that are coming in are coming in from an urban area. Now again, I don't know how this particular coffee company is capturing the data. Capturing the data is a part of business intelligence, but in this particular case, we're not worried about how the data is captured. The data has been captured. We have brought the data in to Power BI, and now we're analyzing the data. Okay. We can look at this by what? Let me back up. I forgot to do something. So if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to this channel. Like this video and subscribe to this channel. And I need to let you know that this particular segment is brought to you by blkdigi.com. That's right, it's brought to you by blkdigi.com. BLK Digi is an online retail source to where you can go out and you can buy some of your fancy, nice retail items out at blkdigi.com. And if you are a vendor, you can go out and you can sell your products on blkdigi.com. But again, if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to this channel. But back to what we were talking about here. So we have analyzed this data using a column chart. Again, the column is holding up the walls, and we've analyzed this data by the bar chart. And the data that we've analyzed, the story that we're telling here is, again, I'm going to expand my size here so I can see this actual visual, because I don't have my glasses on. But purchase frequency versus average transaction value. So we're saying that the purchase frequency for mocha in a rural location is rare, and the average transaction value is 16. Mocha is in the rural location, transaction value being $4.50 is regular, and the transaction value being $3.80 is occasional. Okay, so very few people are spending $16, but a lot of people are spending $4.50. But we have occasionally it's $3.80. Well, this is just to give you an idea of how easy it is to create a Power BI report. It's super easy to create a Power BI report, and like I say, it's easy for you to learn BI. It's easy for you to learn BI. And it's easy like Sunday morning. I can't say that it's really just that easy, right? But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment here in my comments. I definitely want to know if you think, or we want to know if you think that we're providing you with simple enough information for you to grasp business intelligence. If you have any other questions, we want to know what those questions are. Leave those comments here. And if you're ready to jump in and learn BI, if you're ready to learn Power BI and take on that six-figure income that's due to you in 4 to 6 months, go over to powerofthebi.com, and we look forward to seeing you win again in the next video.